So, very interesting. This is the second appearance. So the third appearance then, and how wonderful that it occurs on the day, as Tyler mentioned, where around the world the doors are being opened, inviting Elijah in, and I just love that they preserved this prophecy correctly. They got it right. Elijah would return on Passover. A Passover day. And so Elijah comes and gives which keys? The sealing keys. And oh, how wonderful that the power to bind on earth and have it be bound in heaven, whether it's family relationships or other things that the Lord needs done in that kind of a nature. The question's been raised through time, why Moses? Why this Elias that we aren't 100% sure of who it was? And why Elijah? Well, Joseph Fielding Smith made a statement in the Doctrines of Salvation that I've just always found useful. He said, quote, "It's been a mystery to many members of the church why this important mission," speaking specifically of Elijah, was reserved for Elijah, and why these authorities could not have been bestowed by some other prophet or prophets, presumably Peter, James, and John. And then he answers his own question. He says, without question, Peter, James, and John could have bestowed this authority. They had it. They were so commissioned by the Savior himself. He said, so could Adam, so could, any number of people, if they had been commissioned to do so. And so, in the Lord's wisdom, it's Moses, it's this Elias, and it's Elijah, and those keys are restored upon the earth. And I just mentioned that this is similar to the Mount of Transfiguration in the New Testament.
Matthew 17.
And Mark and Luke 9, I think.
Cover it as well.
And so at the Mount of Transfiguration, who's there? Well, so this is New Testament times. Who is there? Christ and Moses and Elijah. And then there's some interesting verses in the King James Version that people have argued over for a long time. But in the Joseph Smith translation, Mark chapter 9, verse 3, and there's a footnote in your Latter-day Saint Bible. If you go there and look, it's, again, Joseph Smith translation, Mark 9:3. He explains that there was an Elias there, and that day, that Elias was John the Baptist, one of the few people in history whose middle name was the.
Yeah.
And so in the New Testament, then, it's Christ, Moses, Elijah, and Elias. Now let's look at Kirtland. Who appears in section 110? Christ, Moses, Elijah, and Elias. It's the same.
Yeah.
And again, just another witness from the Lord that this has my absolute stamp of approval. I just think that's kind of a fun connection that Joseph helps open up that key through the Joseph Smith translation.
Yeah, and the keys here given to Peter, James, and John, now we get them given to Joseph.
So we should just probably mention that this section, section 110, is what's called a theophany. It's an appearance of God. It's in history, it's a pretty rare and special event.